So for my first concept, I shall be covering motivational conflict. There are 3 types of motivational conflict. There's approach, avoid, and avoid. And the type that I shall be covering today is approach avoid. So that's just when a conflict arises between a desired and undesirable alternative that are linked to the same subject. This concept is based around the theory of cognitive dissonance, which is a theory derived from the idea that people need order and consistency in their life. So when a state of tension occurs between their beliefs and their behaviours, tension arises between one another because people just don't know which one to decide. They don't know whether to go with the right behaviour or the right belief. So this motivational conflict recently arose for myself. When they started to announce lockdowns and that people need to stay home to reduce the spread of coronavirus, I was someone that used to go out, work out every single day. So when they started to announce that I needed to stay at home, that really brought a conflict between my behaviours and my beliefs, because I did understand that I needed to stay home. I didn't want to spread the virus, but my behaviour, that was something that I just did every day. So that brought a conflict between the two. So to overcome this conflict between my behaviour and my beliefs, I decided to set up a home gym. So this was what I have done. So I've set up weights, I've got a rowing machine, I've got a boxing bag, I have a bike, got a yoga mat, some more weights. So by setting up my equipment at home, I've managed to get a balance between my behaviour and my beliefs, so I can stay home and stop the spread of the virus, but still get in my workout. To further even help this change in behaviour, my gym started to do live streams on Facebook of the work to replicate the workouts that they used to do at the gym. So that even further helps to create that balance between my beliefs and my behaviour. And like in the cognitive dissonance theory, people need stability and order and consistency in their life. So by them doing that, it helps bring that bit of stability back even more from what I used to be doing. By being able to work out from home, I applied the cognitive dissonance reduction, which is a process by which someone's motivated to reduce the tension between their beliefs and their behaviours and eventually eliminate it. So approach avoidance has 3 main factors. The first is the tension that arises between a need or desire. So in my case, that was I want to work out versus I don't want to spread the disease. The second is the magnitude of the valence. So in my case, that was I like working out a lot versus I would hate to get sick. The third is the psychological distance. So it was easier for me to keep my routine the same than it would be to changing it. And all 3 of them are equally as strong as each other. It can be very hard to change your behaviour. However, in my case, the psychological distance, I was able to change that, and by changing my way of thinking about it, I was able to change my routine and start working from home. The state of tension that occurred between my beliefs and my behaviours is what motivated me to resolve the tension. I realised that the benefits of me going to work out weighed less than the benefits of me staying home, so I had to find a similar alternative within my own home. To be able to resolve this motivational conflict, I applied the observational learning. Through me seeing people on social media platforms set up home gyms and work out from home, I realised I could apply this to my cognitive dissonance reduction process to further bring a balance between my beliefs and my behaviours. Through operant conditioning, I was able to find motivation to find an in-between from the behaviour I used to do to the behaviour I need to do now. The reward being in this situation that if I and everyone else cooperate and stay home, that the restrictions will get eased sooner. And as we're seeing now, these rewards are already being dealt out with the restrictions being eased. It is important to understand how motivation affects the way consumers behave, because motivation is a key driver behind behaviour. Through theories such as cognitive dissonance, observational learning, and operant conditioning, I was able to link together how I was able to change my behaviour and my mindset to match my beliefs. Perception is the process by which stimuli to our sensory system, such as our nose, our ears, our mouth, our eyes, and our skin, is organised and interpreted. There are 3 stages of perception. Firstly is exposure, which is when the sensory stimuli comes within the range of someone's sensory system. Second is attention, which is the extent to which the processing of that stimuli occurs. Third is interpretation, which is when we assign the meaning to that stimuli. This kind of perceptual activity is usually done unconsciously, which is also known as automated unconsciousness, which involves when we assign meaning to stimuli from an experience without even knowing. So, to exemplify this behaviour, we should be going to Woolies, I shall be pointing out things at Woolies that they do to try and enhance the experience there through the use of things such as like sound, the layout of the store, which you see with your eyes, and the smells.
Baskets there with the colour green on them and the fresh food at the front of the store. Usually there's flowers over there as well too, but they're out. This is to enforce their fresh food motto, as well as the bright colours make people put in a good mood. As you can see, the deli and the butcher is over there and the bakery is ahead, so as people walk by they'll be able to smell the meat and the bread. I can smell the meat and the fresh bread, which triggers my hunger because as a smell I associate with food. Also reiterates Woolies' branding of them being the fresh food people. As you can see it too on their signs and even their little social distancing, it's all green. In the aisle, so I walk down the aisle, the music they're playing is a bit upbeat. That's because it's during the peak time, so they're trying to get people in and out of the store faster.
As we can see from the colour in the brand logo and as well as the continued use of the colour green throughout the store, that just helps promote Woolies as a fresh food people, as green's a colour that's associated with fresh, with growth, all that kind of stuff. So by them doing that, it just reiterates immediately to the customer through visual stimuli that they are fresh food people.
So just to reiterate on my previous point, Woolies has placed all their fresh food, like their fruit and veg, the flowers, the deli and the bakery, all at the front of the store to get people to think unconsciously that Woolies are the fresh food people. Because of all the fresh produce, that's immediately what you see. The sound stimuli of the music in the store, through the rhythm, pace of the music and the beat of the music, can set the pace for the customer's shopping. So when I went, that was the fast rhythm because it was about 6 o'clock, and it was to try and speed up people's shopping experience. So obviously there's not a crowd there. So through that sound stimuli, people are unconsciously changing their experience at the shopping centre because of that. These stimuli that the supermarket exposes you to, and you subconsciously take it in, is related to classical conditioning. When you smell the bread being cooked, not only do you think of freshness, but it also makes you hungry, which would make you buy more at the supermarket. This classical conditioning is what allows the supermarkets to alter and shape our interpretation of them. By understanding how a consumer will respond when exposed to this sort of stimuli is what allows supermarkets to curate the experience that they desire for their customer. People assign certain meaning between two stimuli because of learning and memory from the past. People assign meaning to the smell of food, well in this case fresh bread, to being hungry, because in the past when they've smelled that they have been given food. So when they smell it in the supermarket it triggers their hunger because they have learnt from the past, and when they smell it in the supermarket they're just remembering that. Not everyone interprets stimuli in the same way. Most people, when they walk by the deli section, they get hungry at the smell of the meats. However, for me, I can't stand the smell of it, so I avoid that area entirely. This will mean my experience there will be altered because I don't interpret that stimuli in the same way as others. Stimuli plays a key role for the brand, as that is what will help the consumer remember you for the brand image and experience you're trying to convey. So people unconsciously assigning stimuli to certain experiences means brands such as Woolworths can include these in their marketing strategy and be able to shape the way the customer consumes the experience at the store.